Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Zaku News here on March 9th, and we got some cool new stuff to talk about this week. Some really exciting P-Bandai announcements, as much as no one really likes P-Bandai. Actually, P-Bandai is coming to the US more so in the near future, so that's good news, but we got a couple new kits coming out that are going to be really cool. Bandai just this morning actually just dropped some news on a couple of non-P-Bandai kits that are also looking pretty cool as well. So we got a lot of cool stuff to talk about this week. Actually, not a lot, I shouldn't say, but we've got some cool stuff to talk about this week. And also, just before I get into it, if you guys haven't seen the latest updates video over on my channel, on my Zaku Aurelius channel, I let you guys know about the new big news here for USA Gundam Store, as well is that USA Gundam Store is putting on the Mecha Modeling Expo at the end of August this year. So August 29th and 30th is going to be a massive expo there in Daytona Beach, Florida. For any of you guys who are in that area who always want to participate, you'll be able to actually go to a Mecha Modeling Expo event there. So we're going to have more information for you guys over the next couple months as everything is getting all worked out, but looking forward to seeing all of you guys there. And we'll have a dedicated website to the Mecha Modeling Expo and everything as well. So there'll be plenty more information coming out in the near future, but for the time being, that is the big news of the hour, and we're really looking forward to it. I'm going to be there, and so I'm really looking forward to hanging out with everyone there and everything. I'm going to be one of the judges as well, so that's going to be awesome. Looking forward to seeing everyone's work, and so I think it's going to be a really good time. So looking forward to it, and hopefully a lot of you guys will be able to attend. That'll be really awesome. So that'll be at the end of August, again, August 29th and 30th in Daytona Beach, Florida. So mark calendars if you're interested in going. Alright, so let's get into the news for this week. So we've got a couple things here from the Mobile Suit Ensemble line. Mobile Suit Ensemble EX18 and EX19 were announced. EX18 is the Gundam Double X and the G Falcon set. So this is actually the Marking Plus set, I should say, of these two. So this one's out in June for 4,500 yen. Obviously, it's the Gundam Double X and the G Falcon, which are separate things, so you can combine them to make the Double X with the G Falcon attachment on there. So like the sort of full armor version, I suppose, of the Double X Gundam. So that looks pretty awesome. And then EX19 is going to be a set as well of the Gundam Leopard D and also the Airmaster Burst. So both also like side Gundams from the same Gundam X series. So this one's also out in June for a little bit more, 5,500 yen for this set, because I guess it's just because it's two full Gundam figures and all their accessories and stuff. The Airmaster Burst also has the transformation gimmick with that as well. The Leopard D, of course, is sort of like the Gundam X version of the heavy arms, so it has all the things that open up with missiles and all that. It has the big guns and everything, so very cool set, actually. Really hoping that someday, although we did get the HG Burst a couple years ago, or the HG Airmaster a couple years ago, really hoping that we get someday some more nice new HG kits from Gundam X would be nice. So I don't know, fingers crossed. But in the meantime, we have these ensemble figures that are coming out there. So alright, let's get into the P-Bandai news then. The big news is the P-Bandai HGUC Gundam TR6 Kehaar 2 is coming out in June for 2,500 yen. So this is just another version of the Woundwort with just the new parts on there to make it into the Kehaar 2, and it's so cool. This is one of those designs that, like, Bandai's really been surprising me a lot with their Advance of Zeta stuff. They've put out the Master Grade Hazel kits, and then like the Woundwort, the Hazenflay, and these things. But this is one that they were really surprising me with their stuff they were coming out with, but I didn't expect them to go this far to come out with the Kehaar 2. So really welcome addition to the line, and I'm really looking forward to this. It's so awesome. I love this design. So I think that's going to be really cool. It has the transformation as well as the different forms of the Woundwort also do. This one also transforms. The Kehaar 2, obviously being the opposite version of the Kehaar, which is based off of the Aasimar, which is a very interesting design, of course. So you can see some kind of similar features there. But if you didn't want just one, you can also buy a 6-pack of them. There's also going to be a 6-pack version of that. It's also coming out in June for 16,500 yen, so obviously it's going to be costing quite a lot more for 6 of those. You could, I suppose, just buy 6 separately, and I don't think there's anything special that's going to be coming with the 6-pack version, and the price, I think, is probably about the same as well. But I suppose that just leads to the question is Bandai going to make an HG inlay? It's not very likely, but the fact that would be gigantic, like something akin to like the Neo Zeong I'm not sure that would really actually happen, but the 6 Kehaar units are mounted on the underside of the kind of wing binder kind of bits, super huge bits of the inlay. So I don't know if that's something that they're going to do, but they're making the 6-pack, so I don't know. Anyway, that would be really awesome if they did. But the P-Bandai Advance of Zeta news, good news, does not stop there. We also have the P-Bandai HGUC Gundam TR1 Hazenflay. So this is the Hazenflay Gundam that I think you could basically make with some different parts. You would have had to like kit bash different parts from a few other different kits, but now they're releasing this as just a single kit. So it's got parts of like the Primrose parts, which is what you needed to make like the torso of this, and then it has like the long rifle from the Wound War, and then it has the legs and arms parts from the Hazel Gundam, so it's kind of a mix match of everything to come together to make the Hazenflay. But they're releasing it just as a single kit in June as well for 3,500 yen for that, so a little bit high for the base price for that. But considering that it's basically taking parts from a few different kits, and so there's going to be a good amount of runners in there, I imagine. So 3,500 yen, a little bit high, but it just sort of makes sense, I suppose. All right, the next thing here also, a little bit high in its pricing as well, is the P-Bandai Real Grade Shinanju Special Coating version coming out in July for 11,000 yen for this, so over $100 for this one. But again, as it goes with special coating versions, it's pretty standard that the price is pretty much double the price of the original kit. So with the original kit, I think, if I remember correctly, was around 4,500 yen, 5,000 yen, around there. So with this being 11,000 yen, that makes sense. It's usual for special coating versions, so that looks really cool. I mean, it looks great with all the special coating. Just the regular version is like super high gloss red plastic anyway, so this is not too far different. It's just a more metallic look, obviously, with the special coating. So if you're into that look, it does look pretty nice. And then last P-Bandai thing here, not really all that particularly exciting, I think, is the P-Bandai HGUC R Jaja Twilight Axis version coming out in July for 1,900 yen. No, as far as I can tell, there's not anything new about this kit. It's just a color swap, I think. And so I guess if anything was going to be P-Bandai, this is the kind of thing that, if no one likes or prefers P-Bandai, but if anything is going to be P-Bandai, just the stuff that doesn't actually, not like a full new kit or like a half new kit, but something that's not new at all. It's just a color swap. This is the kind of thing that's like what P-Bandai was mostly about, like in the beginning. And what most of the kits were just mostly color swaps, maybe a little bit different parts, things like that, before it started getting pretty crazy. But so yeah, it's just, as far as I can tell, just a color swap version of the R Jaja. They're in the Twilight Axis version colors, which I'm not particularly into, but it's a cool kit nonetheless. I mean, whichever version you end up getting, it's a good kit. So that'll be out in July for 1,900 yen again. So all right, now getting into the new just standard release stuff, and there's some pretty exciting stuff here. And the first thing being a new HG Char Zaku 2 coming out in July for 1,600 yen. So first of all, 1,600 yen is a nice price for that. It's not very expensive. That's good. And it basically looks like it's meant to be coming out as, like, obviously the opposite to the new Beyond Global version of the RX-782. So it's basically just a new, really super high quality HG kit that's coming out. And so it looks really great. It looks like they're taking a lot of like the design technologies, the manufacturing technologies, the engineering that went into the Origin Zaku, and then making just a regular Char Zaku 2. So this is something that kind of people wanted and people expected for a long time, and so finally they're getting around to doing it, making a new updated HG Zaku 2 based on the kind of really nice engineering that went into the Origins version. So there's some really cool stuff here. Also really interesting that one of the things I could see from the promotional images we just got out is that they're going to have two different options for the skirt armor. So you'll have a soft plastic version and also just a regular kind of typical, just regular normal plastic version as well. So if you wanted the skirt armor to be a little bit more flexible as you're moving the kit, you can have the soft rubber or soft plastic parts to use instead. So that's an interesting thing, something that, as you guys know, if you watch my channel for a long time, I don't like soft plastic parts at all, so I definitely won't be using those, but it's certainly an interesting thing to include in there. If that's going to be something they're going to be including in other kits more often now, I don't know. Possibly it's a sign of that, but anyway, the kit looks fantastic. It's not very detailed. Certainly, maybe some people will miss the detail of the Origin kits, because the Origin kits are really great because they have a ton of detail, and also the engineering and the articulation of them is really good. So you have kind of like the best of all the worlds there. Whereas with these, with this kit at least, it looks like the detail is certainly toned down quite a bit. But again, I think that's just more to look more in line with just like this standard HG kind of quality of just not being super detailed. So I think it looks great though. Either way, it looks like that'll be really cool. And then I'm sure we'll have different variants. I'm sure we'll have just a normal green variant as well, and then possibly other stuff down the line will be pretty expected. So another thing I just want to talk about here quickly, this is not new, but sort of new in a way that we haven't really seen a whole lot about this. The HG Build Divers Re-Rise Gundam G-Else is out this month for 1900 yen, and just until just recently we hadn't really seen anything about this kit except for like the 1 or 2 images that we had, and which were not even like really very high quality images. But now suddenly, like on the eve of the kit being about to come out this month, we got the box art, and then we got a bunch of new images of the kit, so you can see more about the gimmicks of it. And it's a very gimmick heavy kit. It looks like it's got different kind of effect parts and stands and things that you can use with that. And so it looks like quite the interesting design, quite the interesting kit. It just took them a while to actually start getting any information or promotional images out about it, it seems like. So whatever the reason, finally getting some more looks at that, and it does look pretty cool, so that'll be out this month. But then a couple other new things here as well. The Build Divers Re-Rise Gundam Aegis Knight is going to be coming out in July for 2,300 yen. And this one also looks like a very interesting mix of different aesthetics going into this kit. So like the backpack sort of parts, and it sort of like transforms, kind of reminds me of the Harut a little bit. And then the shoulders remind me kind of the, what's that? The Gundam 00 Sky from Gundam Build Divers with like the folding flaps on the front and back of the shoulders anyway. So some really interesting design gimmicks about this, and so it looks pretty interesting, pretty cool. For me personally, I'm certainly more into this design more so than I was for the Injustice Knight, so I think it looks pretty interesting, and so and it's got some cool gimmicks in there as well, so I'm looking forward to seeing more about that as it gets close to that one coming out. But that's not out till July, so you still got a long time until that one's going to be releasing. So then the next thing here also is HG Build Divers Re-Rise new hero exterior armor. It's just got a temporary name. We don't have the official name for this out yet, but this one also looks very interesting. It looks very much inspired by the Stargazer Gundam. It's sort of got this similar kind of effect with like the lines and all the glowing bits around there on the design, and then obviously the big ring on the backpack and one of the images there. So very interesting mix. And then also it sort of like reminds me of like the Stargazer Gundam design mixed with that version of the G-Self, which had the big green armor on it. What was that? The High Torque Pack, yes, that one. So it's sort of like not quite as giant and bulky as the G-Self High Torque Pack, but sort of like a slimmed down version of that, and then also mixed with elements of the Stargazer Gundam. So I don't know, yeah, sort of interesting mix of aesthetics going on there, but yeah, it looks really cool. So this one also I think looks like a nice armor set. I'm not really totally sold on it being white, but I think in some custom color scheme it could look even better. So that I think will be also a really nice set. So at the moment we don't have the release date or price set for that quite yet, but I'm sure probably around June or July for that one as well, with the fact that it's just being announced now, and sort of like this round of releases is all for June and July. So alright, that is it for that new Build Divers stuff though, so some interesting things coming out from that, a couple new cool kits down the line. And then the last thing here is the sort of new SD Cross Silhouette RX-782 Gundam and Char's Zaku 2 set. So this is not anything new, it's just new that they're releasing them as a set now. So this is going to be out in July for 1,800 yen, so a very reasonable price for this, seems like. So you'll have a set of the 2 of those, and then all of their weapons, everything included with that as well. So if you hadn't picked up either of those kits, if you're interested, I would definitely recommend checking out the SD Cross Silhouette line. I've only built a couple of them, but my experience with the line has been very good. I think if you're at all interested in like checking out any of the kits in the SD line, I would definitely recommend starting with one of the Cross Silhouette kits, because they're pretty nice, pretty good kits. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the news for this week. So a couple of really cool P-Bandai things coming out from Advance of Zeta, especially some new HG kits. The new Char Zaku 2 looks really awesome. The new HG Build Divers kits look like they're looking good as well. I'm really glad that the HG Build Divers Re-Rise line in general does seem so much better than the past line, than the Build Divers line. The Build Divers line was very hit or miss, and a lot of stuff that I think was probably a big miss. But this new line of HG Build Divers Re-Rise has been quite good so far, so I'm really looking forward to the new kits coming out from that line as well as that continues to go on. So it seems like there's something in there for everyone, which is nice, so that's good. But that is it for the news for this week. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Again, check the link to the USA Gundam store. They're down below, and go and shop there. Use my coupon code ZAKUAURELIUS10 to save yourself 10% off everything there on the site. And looking forward to the Mecha Modeling Expo in August. Looking forward to seeing you guys there. Again, we'll share more information about that as we have it available for you guys. So thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.